This is the Linear Algebra Lectures video series. You can find more information about this video as well as a link to the written textbook in the description below. Stick around to the end of the video to learn more about this video series and the associated teaching and learning tools I've created for it. Lecture 20, One-to-One and Onto Transformations. Our objectives for this lecture are to determine whether a linear transformation is one-to-one or onto, and understand the expanded versions of the spanning columns theorem and linearly independent columns theorem. Before we talk about one-to-one and onto transformations, let's just talk about the concept of one-to-one and onto functions. When we talk about a function, we have a domain and a codomain. The domain is the set of things that we are allowed to plug into our function, and then the codomain is the set of possible outputs that we get once we do that. When we have a particular domain element, u, then f of u is called the image of u under that function. And then every element of the domain has exactly one image in V. In this picture, we can visualize that as seeing that every dot in the domain has exactly one arrow coming out of it. We don't have any dots in the domain with no arrows coming out of them, and we also don't have any dots in the domain with multiple arrows coming out of them. That's what it means to be a function. In this case, we see the domain element u1, and the image of that element is v1. Here we have the domain element u2, and its image is also v1. So while we don't ever have multiple arrows pointing out of any domain element, we can have multiple arrows pointing to elements of the domain. That's okay, that doesn't violate this being a function. Now let's start by understanding what an onto function is. The definition is that a function is onto if every element of the codomain is the image of at least one element of the domain. Looking at the picture, we're asking the question of whether every dot in the codomain has at least one arrow pointing to it. So for example, for this codomain element v1, we see that the equation f of x equals v1 has two solutions. There's two arrows pointing to v1 from those two highlighted domain elements. For this codomain element v2, we see that the equation f of x equals v2 has one solution. We've got one element in the domain pointing to v2. So what we're looking for when we're asking whether the function is onto is whether the equation f of x equals v always has at least one solution in u for every codomain element v. In this case, we look at this picture and we see that for each codomain element, there's at least one arrow pointing to each codomain element, and so this function is onto. One-to-one has a similar definition. A function is one-to-one if every element of the codomain is the image of at most one element of the domain. And so in this case, we're asking whether the equation f of x equals v has at most one solution in the domain u. So for this codomain element v1, we see that the equation f of x equals v1 has one solution. But for this codomain element v2, the equation f of x equals v2 has no solutions. There are no domain elements pointing to that codomain element v2. And so if we look at all of our codomain elements, we see that all of those codomain elements have either one or zero arrows pointing to them. And so every codomain element has at most one arrow pointing to it, and so this function is one-to-one. Now that we understand what it means for a function to be one-to-one and onto, we want to try to understand how to tell when a linear transformation is one-to-one or onto. So let's consider this matrix transformation, where we have a 3x4 matrix A, and we want to consider the transformation T of x equals AX. Is this transformation onto? So we're asking the question of whether the equation T of x equals B has at least one solution, no matter which codomain vector B is. So if we're trying to solve that equation, we would want to set up an augmented matrix. Now we don't know what the vector b is, but as we've done before, we can put in generic b variables. And so now that we have our augmented matrix, we want to understand whether this augmented matrix represents an equation that has at least one solution, no matter what b is. That means we need to look in the last column, and since we see that there is no pivot in this last column, this matrix is already in echelon form. There's no pivot in the last column, and so that means that the equation ax equals b is consistent, which means it has one or more solutions. That's what we were asking, and so the answer is that yes, in this case, t is onto. What about one-to-one? For this, we're asking the question of whether the equation t of x equals b has at most one solution. That just means 0 or 1 solutions, no matter what b is. So once again, we'll set up an augmented matrix with generic variables for our b vector. And we're asking the question of whether the equation ax equals b has at most one solution, no matter what b is. Now, again, just like before, we notice that there's no pivot in the last column, which means that ax equals b is consistent. That means it has one or more solutions. And so now we also notice that the variable x3 in this equation is free, which means in fact we have infinitely many solutions, no matter what b is. So in this case, this shows us that our transformation t is not one-to-one. So we can take these ideas and expand our columns theorems. If you remember from previous lectures, we've talked about these two important theorems, the spanning columns theorem and the linearly independent columns theorem. And we can add in the ideas of one-to-one and onto to these theorems to better understand when a transformation is one-to-one or onto. Let's start with the spanning columns theorem. Notice that we've added number 5 here, which says that the transformation t of x equals ax is onto. So why does that connect with the other ideas in the spanning columns theorem? Well, let's focus on number 4, the idea that the matrix A has a pivot in every row. So if we visualize a matrix that has a pivot in every row, what would the augmented matrix representing the equation ax equals b look like? Because remember, that's the equation we have to understand to try to understand whether t of x equals ax is onto. Because A has a pivot in every row, there cannot be a pivot in that final augmented column. There wouldn't be any room for there to be a pivot in that column because each pivot has to be in its own row, and every row already has a pivot in the matrix A. Since there's no pivot in that last column, that means that the equation t of x equals b, or ax equals b equivalently, has at least one solution, and that's what it means for t to be onto. Now let's look at the linearly independent columns theorem. Again, we've added number 5 here. This time it says that the transformation is one-to-one, and again we want to try to understand why does this connect to the idea of the matrix having a pivot in every column. So let's visualize a matrix that has a pivot in every column, and then try to understand this augmented matrix representing the equation ax equals b. Because we have a pivot in every column of A, we might have a pivot in this final augmented column. If that happens, then the equation t of x equals b has no solutions. But that fits in this case with the definition of one-to-one, because remember, one-to-one tells us that that equation has at most one solution. 0 is less than or equal to 1, so if there's a pivot in this final column, then that equation has at most one solution. But what if there's not a pivot in that final column? Well, there's not a pivot in the final column, and every other column has a pivot, and what we learned earlier in this course tells us that in that case, the equation t of x equals b has exactly one solution. So in this case, the equation t of x equals b, no matter what, has either 0 solutions or 1 solution, and that means that the transformation is one-to-one. So these expanded theorems tell us that these ideas connect to what we've already been doing earlier in the course. We've already been figuring out whether transformations are one-to-one and onto without realizing it. Now, a linear transformation can be one-to-one, onto, both, or neither. The way you determine this is you row reduce the standard matrix of your transformation and locate the pivots. There's a pivot in every column if and only if t is one-to-one. That's one of the things that the linearly independent columns theorem now tells us. And there's a pivot in every row if and only if t is onto. That's one of the things that the new spanning columns theorem tells us. Let's work through some examples. So in this case, we're given a transformation t of x equals ax, where A is this 3x2 matrix, and we're asked whether t is one-to-one or onto. The way we answer this question is by row reducing our matrix. In this case, we get 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0. We identify the pivots in that row reduced matrix. And since we have a pivot in every column, the transformation is one-to-one. And since we don't have a pivot in every row, the transformation is not onto. What about this transformation? Here we have a transformation from R3 to R2 given by this formula. Is t one-to-one? Is t onto? To answer this question, we need the standard matrix for t, so that'll be our first task, is to figure that out. Remember that the way we find the standard matrix for t is by evaluating t of e1, t of e2, and t of e3. So we get these vectors here. So that gives us the standard matrix for t. So now we row reduce that matrix, and we see that we get the matrix 1, -1, 2, 0, 0, 0. This matrix has only one pivot, and so since this matrix does not have a pivot in every column, t is not one-to-one. And since this matrix does not have a pivot in every row, the transformation is not onto. Now let's think more abstractly. What if we had a matrix with 4 rows and 3 columns? Could the transformation t of x equals ax be one-to-one? Or could that transformation be onto? If we know nothing other than just the size of the matrix, what can we say about one-to-one and onto? Let's try to visualize where the pivots in this matrix could be. Since we have 4 rows and 3 columns, and each pivot must be in its own row and in its own column, the maximum number of pivots that we could have is 3. Now that doesn't mean that this matrix has to have 3 pivots, but it couldn't have more than 3 pivots. So we can't have a pivot in every row. A pivot in every row would require us to have 4 pivots, but we don't have room in this matrix for 4 pivots. So since we cannot possibly have a pivot in every row, this transformation cannot possibly be onto. So since A can have a pivot in every column, this means that the transformation T can be 1-to-1. What about this? Let's suppose that we have a square 5 by 5 matrix whose second column is equal to 3 times the fifth column. And we want T to be the transformation that has B as its standard matrix, or in other words, T of x equals B times x. Is T 1-to-1? Is T onto? So how do we connect this to the ideas that we've been talking about earlier in this lecture? We'll focus on the information that we have. We're told that the second column is equal to 3 times the fifth column. What you hopefully know from our earlier lectures is that this means that our columns of our matrix are not linearly independent. One of our columns is equal to a scalar multiple of one of our other columns. That means that the columns do not form a linearly independent set. And from the linearly independent columns theorem, since our columns are not linearly independent, the transformation T of x equals Bx is not 1-to-1. But what does this have to do with onto? Well, we know that we don't have a pivot in every column, and since we have 5 columns, that means that we don't have 5 pivots. Now that could mean 4 pivots, 3 pivots. We don't know exactly how many pivots we have, but we know that we don't have 5 pivots. And since B has fewer than 5 pivots, B doesn't have a pivot in every row because this matrix also has 5 rows. We don't have 5 pivots, we have 5 rows, so we can't have a pivot in every row. And so from the spanning columns theorem, since we don't have a pivot in every row, this transformation is not onto. Thanks for watching this video lecture. You can find links to the other videos in this series and to the written textbook in the description below. If you're an instructor, you can contact me for more information about the over 300 online linear algebra homework problems that I've created for the free My Open Math platform.